Okay.
Cool. Hey, how you doing, Jasmine Richardson? Richardson, right?
Richardson,
Okay,
yes.
Jasmine Richardson. How you doing today?
Hey, what's up? I'm pretty good. Can't complain.
Cool, awesome. I already asked you about the weather earlier. I'm not even gonna ask that again for the video. It's
Yeah,
probably
my shades are
beautiful.
shut right now.
It's probably beautiful in California, though.
It is.
So, all right, we're gonna be talking about truffles today. And Jasmine, if you don't mind telling the audience a little bit about yourself, what you do, and maybe how you got into mushrooming or got into truffles.
Ah, man, okay. It's a weird story, and everyone's like, what? But
Yeah.
okay, so I have a degree in political science, and I was so confused, as most political scientists are after they graduate. They're like, wait, what can I do with this degree? So I was, I was like, wait, LSAT? So I took LSAT classes at UCLA, and then I'm like, you know what? I don't want to do this. And
Yeah.
luckily, my dad called and he said, hey, it was like midnight because he lives overseas. He lives in the Middle East. He was vacationing in UAE and he was like, hey, we have a farm, a family farm in North Carolina. Why don't we grow truffles? Apparently, one of his colleagues said, hey, the mid-Atlantic area is a great place to grow truffles. And
Huh.
I looked into it and I was like, whoa, this is a really interesting world. Like, the people are kind of like offbeat like me. And it's just a mysterious field of study. Um, and I got into it.
Okay.
So I got into truffles first, and then I looked into mushrooms, and I started to think, well, what can I do? Well, I have a political science degree, so I don't have any prereqs, any scientific prereqs if I want to go to school for this. So um, I got into a post-baccalaureate program at
Okay.
UC Berkeley. It was a pre-medical program. But I said, these are the prereqs I need anyway for a scientific study, so I might as well do it anyway.
Gotcha. Yeah, nice choice.
And then I also enrolled in a microscopy program. So I was doing two programs at the time. So I study microscopy. I have one more class before I finish my program and get my certification. And I'm still working on the prereqs, the scientific prereqs. So, but a lot of mycologists don't necessarily go to school
No, they
for
don't. I was about to say, like, you're one of the few that actually is like took the route of the professional route, even though it took you, a little pivot after a while. You're kind of like me, but you actually like finished. I went 2 years before I was just like, I'm not actually sure what I want to do, but
yeah, I went through the same thing after high school. I was in Europe. I was in Germany at the time,
mm,
and I was like, I do not want to go to the U.S. I was dumb. I got into this school. It was a business school in Monaco, and my dad said, no, you need to go to Florida because you have a scholarship. So I went to Florida. I got my political science degree, and yeah, and then I ended up where I am now, kind of like a career changer. So
gotcha. Yeah, very cool. So you do truffles, or you mentioned, yeah, you do microscopy. But you explained a little bit earlier before I started that you're looking at the roots of trees and looking for what kind of fungal growth is there and making sure that it's optimal for truffle cultivation.
absolutely.
Did I get it right?
So yes.
Cool.
So with mycorrhizal fungi, if you're trying to cultivate them, it's kind of like a huge competition amongst a bunch of different species. So,
So can you clarify what ectomycorrhizal exactly means?
so you have mycorrhizal, you have sapotrophic fungi, which grows on decaying matter, and then you have mycorrhizal fungi that has a symbiotic mutualistic relationship with a vascular plant, like a tree, or even a bush, like like a regular bush, cistus.
Yeah. Okay.
And so you need to look at the roots and see what's going on. Like, are there different species within the nursery that's growing the tree, the seedling, that's growing with the fungus that you've inoculated the tree with, the seed with? Or you outplant it and then you see, okay, wow, this is a different environment. There are different species that are competing. There are very aggressive species like tuber brumale that likes to compete with tuber melanosporum, which is the black truffle.
Okay. Black truffle.
So I look at the morphology. I look at the shape underneath the microscope, and I see what's there, and I count the percentage of colonization or mycorrhization that's there.
Are you counting the colonization of the mycelium that you've inoculated?
Not the mycelium, the mycorrhiza.
Okay, the
mycorrhiza. I'm looking at the mycorrhiza, which is a combination of the root tips and the fungus.
Oh, okay.
It's cool. Ectomycorrhiza, you see it and it's big. Endomycorrhiza actually penetrates the roots. Ectomycorrhiza kind of coats it. It kind of penetrates the roots like a few cells in, but it doesn't fully penetrate the root. So it's really cool. It's really obvious. You can probably see it with the naked eye.
Okay, that's very cool. I think I want to link up a picture just so we can get a good visual later of what which exact layer you're talking about. But that's really cool. I've never even heard of that job before. So that's really cool.
It's out there.
Yeah, that sounds way fun. So can you explain to the audience a bit about how a truffle might circulate its spores, or like where it, and what is a truffle and how does it behave?
That is a loaded question.
it's pretty broad, and so you can skim it down.
What is a truffle? Okay. It's controversial because whatever's underneath the soil is technically a truffle. It's hypogeous. It's underground. And you have ascomycetes that are underground. Then you have like puffballs that are kind of like halfway underground. And then you have like the Basidiomycota that tend to go underground, but they're not technically true truffles.
Right.
They say that true truffles are tubers, like the genus tuber, but forget that.
But it's just a sclerotia, no? It's not a sclerotia?
No, sclerotia is totally different. Sclerotia is a mycelium that is kind of like containing all its nutrients. A tuber is actually the fruiting body of the fungus. Mm-hmm. So it's the mushroom, but underground. It's a mushroom that's underground, technically. That's the easiest way to say it. People say a true truffle. It's more like culinary. They say, oh, it's a true truffle.
I see. Yeah.
Whatever. I'm like,
yeah, it's okay. Yeah, I'm gonna definitely link up like some of the definitions of those words because I didn't even know some of those words. But yeah, it's fascinating stuff because they're not like a normal mushroom.
Well, let me give you one quick example.
Yeah.
Leucangium, the black Oregon truffle. Leucangium, it's not a tuber. So it's a culinary truffle.
Yeah.
So yeah, there are about 200 species of tubers.
Gotcha. Okay. Yeah, I realize the incentive of a culinary person to use the word though. I guess because they're looking for a flavor. I guess.
Yeah, and let me tell you, the difference between truffles, like true truffles, and say a mushroom is that the only way it can disperse its spores is it's kind of evolutionary. It's crazy. You need something, a mammal, a pig, a squirrel, whatever, to eat that truffle. That's why it has that aroma, right? Because they smell it and they eat it, and then they walk around wherever and they poop, whatever. And they disperse spores through pooping.
That's how they That's is that like I guess it's not the exclusive way because I guess they some could come just crack above the surface and be eroded away. Maybe no.
That doesn't tend to happen.
Yeah.
No.
Okay.
I mean, there's some complex things like, yeah, kind of, but usually the wind doesn't really disperse the spores the way that a regular mushroom would have its spores dispersed.
Right. Right.
Truffles are underground.
That's crazy. That's so crazy.
It's cool. I love
Yeah,
it.
yeah. No, it's fascinating. All right, so let's just move on here. We talked about it a lot. Da, 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 da. Well, what is your most excited? What are you most excited about concerning the truffle cultivation industry?
I'm excited about the US learning about truffles and learning about its cultivation. People becoming more interested in mycology and looking into mushrooms, looking into truffles, and people who aren't necessarily scared of mycorrhizal fungi and the cultivation of mycorrhizal fungi and looking into it. The mid-Atlantic area, there are about 200 truffle orchards there. A lot of them have switched crops. Most of them are tobacco farms that have decided to get into truffles. And a lot of them don't have a mycological background, so
Right.
they need help. And so you have more people interested in mycology and more people to help them. So I'm extremely excited about that. And I think eventually we won't have most of our truffles shipped in from Europe or Australia. They'll be in the
Right.
US and they'll be fresher and people will respect and enjoy the flavor of truffles because it's fresher. And that's one of the main components of truffles, aroma and just enjoying the flavor.
Yeah, so crazy. I've never actually tasted or smelled one. I saw them in the store one time, just a tiny thing, but I couldn't really smell it. Um, what does it smell like to you? Because I've heard all kinds of descriptions.
It depends on the species. So tuber
Mm.
magnatum, the white truffle, um, it has a garlicky kind of funky smell. Some people say it's like a dirty sock, but I really love it.
Yeah.
You
Okay.
shave it on pasta. I'm a fan of tuber melanosporum. That's what I'm trying to cultivate at my farm. It has a more earthy aroma, kind of chocolatey. But you look at these truffles and you look at them, you look at the compounds, there are over 100 different compounds in each of these truffles. And that's one of the reasons why I'm like, why are you using truffle oil? Because it's one compound
Yeah.
of a white truffle, not a
Yeah.
black truffle.
It's interesting the way farmers will yeah, most people are not mushroom people, so they wouldn't know a trait like that or to even look out for it. But um, oh, what was I gonna ask? It wasn't about it was about the smell. I completely lost my train of thought. Um, I guess who were the notable mycologists working in this industry or this organization?
Notable mycologists in the US,
Sure.
probably Dr. Charles Lefebvre in Oregon.
Okay.
He he's a mycologist. He has an academic background in mycology. Um, my favorite and personal friends, actually, they're in Spain. You can look them up, mycoflora.com. Marcos Mastrillo and Xavier Villanova. They fly into the U.S. from time to time to consult, and they have some really interesting things going on. They're not exclusively into truffles. They do all types of mycorrhizal work. And for example, Dr. Xavier Villanova, who's a microbiologist, he's trying to grow Lactarius deliciosus, the saffron milk cat,
Yeah.
within a pot. Like
Wow.
within 2 years, yeah, growing a saffron milk cat in a pot. And I looked at it just a few months ago, or in July. And I was like, whoa, okay, I hope these fruit in like a year. It's really exciting.
It's crazy because as long as I've known about mushrooms, I haven't really heard of like people just assumed, oh, you can't cultivate those. You just can't cultivate those. But
Yeah,
it's changing.
it needs to change. I see it all the time in mushroom growing. Shout out to mushroom growing. I post here all the time. And the mushroom cultivation group, they're like, oh no, you can't grow that because it's mycorrhizal. Yeah, it's gonna take some time, maybe
Right.
like 8 years, but,
But yeah.
or 2 years.
Huh.
Tuber borchii, which is the bianchetto truffle. That there's a woman who has a farm in, I think, North Carolina on the East Coast. She fruited them within 2 years. And the
Wow.
cool thing about tuber borchii is that you can co-crop and produce pine nuts. And
Okay.
the interesting thing about that is that they've developed these dwarf trees, these dwarf pines that aren't huge, right? Because pines get huge. And you can easily cultivate these pine nuts. So that's extremely exciting. I mean, I'm excited about that. But that's in Spain. Hopefully it'll come here.
Yeah, that's so cool. I don't even like you're mentioning some things I didn't even know were going on, and like especially just in cultivation. And there is that morel cultivation page, or I think they're like the only ones I've seen doing it, but they're cultivating outdoor. Somehow it just looks like it's around the right kind of trees, but they've just managed to have this outdoor cultivation scheme going on, and it seems to be working.
Who knows? I don't know. Like I said, I don't really study morels, but I do know that truffles tend to like lignified soil. And when I say lignified soil, I mean
Lignin.
decayed wood.
Yeah.
And I think that's a key component to growing truffles.
Truffles. Huh.
Yeah.
Interesting.
It- yeah.
Very cool. Yeah, we're here for truffles. We kind of went on a tangent on morels, but that's okay.
Well, mycorrhizas or mycorrhizae. You guys can say either or.
Gotcha. What's your favorite truffle?
I'm
Melanosporum?
gonna say tuber melanosporum, yeah.
Yeah, okay. Yeah, I think you already said that.
But I like tuber magnatum, but
Cool.
can't really cultivate them.
So,
Yeah.
what's going on in? You said you went to Spain to learn some of what you know. What exactly did that entail?
Wow, okay, so I kind of went on a truffle tour, not necessarily because I wanted to, it kind of like a vacation, but more so because I wanted to get to know the people behind Microscopy, Marcus Mastrillo and Dr. Xavier Villanova. And I was a loner there, and I met a lot of interesting people who were trying to grow orchards and people who bought orchards, like from New Zealand.
Crazy.
And so I also went there, and I went to Valencia to learn more microscopy techniques.
Gotcha.
But I currently know the root sampling. And then I went back again a couple months ago to finish up that training.
Very cool.
And to visit the Microscopy people too.
Yeah. Okay. Gotcha. Microscopy. I have yet to. I don't have a microscope. My partner has a microscope, but it's not the most powerful one. But I haven't made the jump into microscopy just yet. I really need to.
It's a powerful tool.
Yeah. So it seems like I can only get so far sometimes in identification, and I'm just like, well, I just hit a wall. But okay. So
And that's with spores too, right?
yeah,
So
that's.
you get to root sampling. Oh my goodness.
I'm fascinated by just the what Alan Rockefeller is doing in terms of phylogenetics and just sequencing. I think that's ultimate or penultimate to just really know what it is, because there's tons of amanitas that are just characterized with that's just species -01 or -06, and it's just like there's so much that looks alike, but when you look at the DNA, it's different.
Oh, absolutely. let me get this in though.
Yeah.
Tuber indicum, the Chinese truffle, right?
Mm-hmm.
So it looks identical to Tuber melanosporum, the spores.
Okay.
Even the roots, the mycorrhiza, the root tips, they
Yeah.
look identical. You have to do DNA analysis.
Right.
And it's a species complex too. There are like 12 of them.
Yeah.
It's crazy.
Yeah, like when you get to the complex and the groups and the clades, it just gets, walls start shifting and barriers drop. Or new barriers pop up.
The counterculture lab in Oakland's actually looking at tuber indicum. So I'm trying to get into that too because I need to know that.
Yeah. All right, so I've asked you most of the questions I had lined up. You talked about your own farm. Did you want to elaborate on that?
Yeah, so I told you about the family farm in North Carolina.
Right.
My dad was like, no, I don't want to share. So he bought a farm in Virginia. It's a 70-acre farm in Nottoway County. He bought it specifically for truffles. And I do my mycology work, and he's a business guy. So we're good partners.
Yeah, sounds like it. Cool.
Yeah. So I'm excited about it. It's really good. I looked at the soil, and I flew in Dr. Villanova from Microscopy to look at my soil to double check. I was pretty sure that it was good for it and the climate. It's great. It's good for tuber melanosporum, and it's also good for borchii.
So it's in the works. It's not actually.
It's in the works.
Okay, got you. Very cool. You gotta let me know.
Yeah, I'm gonna plant the seeds next year because it takes about 9 months for them to grow.
Okay, not okay, but then for it to be 9 months to grow a truffle.
No, 9 months to grow the seedling enough. Where you can outplant it to be
the trees. I was about to say.
It takes 5 to 12 years for it to fruit. So this is a long-term investment.
Yeah, I was gonna say, hit me up in 9 years let me sample one of those.
Luckily, I'm young, right?
Right. No, you're being smart. Shoot. So this was really fun. You've illuminated, or maybe just even woke me up to new concepts I didn't even know were going on. Listeners had fun too. So I guess, do you have anything else to say before we say goodbye?
Join mushroom growing. I love that group. It's really fun. Look into mycorrhizal fungi. Don't be afraid of it. And just join clubs. Join all the Facebook groups. And if there's a class that offers mushroom cultivation, join it. And then maybe you can find a mentor. And that's mostly what I have to say.
Awesome. Thanks for the tips, Jasmine. It was good to virtually meet you, and I'll see you later.
Yeah.
Peace. Bye.